Okay, so we've been kind of gearing up for this concept of authorial intention, and this is kind of an abstract concept because to really determine, why the author did what they did requires a lot of inferring and a lot of almost borderline speculation on our part because honestly, we'll never actually know 100% for a fact why J.D. Salinger did what he did. But that doesn't mean that we can't possibly speculate and look at some reasons behind his intent in creating Holden Caulfield the way he did. So we're going to go over three methods of authorial intention, two of which you will use. The last one you won't use quite as much, but two of these intentions you will look at a little bit closer. So let's get started. So, what is authorial intent? Authorial intent is the reasoning or motivation behind an author's decision to include certain information in their writing. Basically, to sum it up, why the author did what they did, and what was the point of doing it that way. All right, so we're going to explore, all the possible reasons, why J.D. Salinger did all kind of some of the unique, interesting things that he did with this novel and with Holden's character. And with authorial intention, there are three different possible motivations behind that. So let's get started with those. So we're going to look at three possible motivations behind behind authors' intents and decisions when crafting a literary work. So let's take a look at number one. Number one is character development, right? Provides another dimension or layer to the character. And this one's relatively common, right? A lot of times an author will include certain information because it reveals another piece of the puzzle regarding this particular character. And with Holden Caulfield, he can be such an enigma, such a puzzle that each individual piece that's revealed to us is very intricate and very important. So, for example, on page 39, and I think my pages might be a little bit different than yours, but this is in chapter 5. On page 39, Holden says, I was only 13 and they were going to have me psychoanalyzed and all because I broke all the windows in the garage. I don't blame them, I really don't. I slept in the garage the night he died, and I broke all the goddamn windows with my fist just for the hell of it. So we would ask ourselves, in what ways does Salinger develop Holden's character through this passage? And a very common response is, up until this moment, we haven't really seen Holden exhibit a lot of passion for anything. And this reveals to us that he had a little brother and that he loved his brother very, very, very much. And when he lost that member of his family, he was absolutely devastated. So it does reveal that Holden does have feelings. Holden does have emotional depth. He's not just a whiny, unhappy kid. He's sad. He feels really, really bad for the death of his brother, and he's angry that his brother died, right? So it shows us that Holden has sadness, he has anger, he has remorse, that he is not just this kind of, you know, empathy lacking individual. He really does care about things, and one of the things he cared about was his brother. So we looked about character development, right? So the second method of authorial intent is social commentary. So this is where the author is attempting to make kind of a social statement or a comment about the human condition or experience, right? That's something that's a little bit more universal. It goes outside the novel a little bit more. So, for example, we have this quote right here: "Many, many men have been just as troubled morally and spiritually as you are right now. Happily, some of them kept records of their troubles. You'll learn from them if you want to, just as someday, if you have something to offer, someone will learn something from you. It's a beautiful reciprocal arrangement, and it isn't education, it's history, it's poetry." This happened towards the end of the novel when Holden is visiting a former teacher. And we could ask ourselves, what is Salinger saying about the human experience in this passage? It's there for us, right? That humans struggle, and that people have a really, really difficult time. And what gets people through difficult times is being able to talk to and relate with other people who have gone through or are currently going through those same situations. That's what comforts people is when they meet someone out there like them who identifies and who knows what they're talking about and can really help them understand and move forward through a very troubling situation. Because up until this point, Holden really hasn't met someone. So Mr. Antolini is probably the teacher that Holden's talking to. He's probably trying to offer a form of comfort and relief for Holden to know that there are other people out there like him, and that he can learn something. He can learn something from them, and then other people will be able to learn something from Holden as well. Now, the last form of authorial intent is a biographical connection, and we won't use this one very often because we don't know a lot about J.D. Salinger. However, if you want to learn more about J.D. Salinger, I would really suggest you watch the documentary Salinger on Netflix. It's pretty interesting. J.D. Salinger lived a very, very interesting life and has a very interesting background. So if you're interested more about, who this guy was and how he created this character in Holden Caulfield, watch that documentary. It's really good. But the example right here, the atomic bomb quote, which I shared with you earlier in the unit, J.D. Salinger was deeply troubled by war. He fought in World War II, and he was devastated by what he saw. I mean, he saw very young men dying, dying for a cause that at times he even lost sight of. And it was very hard. He suffered a lot of PTSD from his experiences in the war. So you could say that this quote kind of shows J.D. Salinger's perverse attitudes, I guess, towards war, and what war did to his sense of self. Okay. So here is what you need to do. So there is a assignment on Schoology. It is called I think it's Authorial Intention discussion. And I'm going to give you 4 quotes from the novel. And rather than typing out your responses, you're going to record a video of your response to the quote and your thoughts on its authorial intent. So you're going to say, is it a means to reveal more about Holden's character? Or is it a method to reveal some kind of social statement about the human condition or human experience? But in addition to that, I want you to tell me, back that up with reasoning. If it does reveal more about Holden's character, what is it revealing about Holden's character that we hadn't seen before? And if it is revealing something about if it is about a social commentary piece on the human condition and human experience, well, what is it revealing? What is it telling us about what is it telling us about the human condition and human experience? Okay, the assignment is due Sunday, September 4th by 11:59. I'll go ahead and show you where it is so you can find it really quickly. It's quite simple. So if you go to, it's under the intent of Salinger, and you click on here. We'll view the course as a student, so you can actually hold on just a second. So if you click on this right here, authorial intent video discussion, you will see my questions right here. And then what you will do is you watch the video and then you record your answer. Now it's not letting me do that right now because I can't actually start it, but because I'm just previewing it, but you'll click record answer and then you'll record a video of your response. You're not going to type anything, you're going to record yourself. Each question's worth 5 points. There is a rubric there so you can see where you'll get 5 points and how you would lose points. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any problems getting this started. This is due Sunday, September 4th by 11:59. And good luck. I'm anxious to see what you think about some of these things. This is difficult, so a lot of different directions you can go. So I'm anxious to see what you guys have to say. All right, take care. You're almost done with Catcher in the Rye, and then we'll be moving on to other things. So good luck. See ya.